Hi, I am Dr. Todd Frisch and I read faces. I'm going to do one of the most exciting faces I've ever done. Ed Gein. Most of you have never heard of this guy. I grew up 70 miles from this guy. Netflix is doing a series on Ed Gein. This guy was the basis for the movie Psycho. Alfred Hitchcock read about him and actually used kind of his weirdness to do Psycho. There was a movie called Macabre that was also about him, another one called Disturbed. Just fascinating. I was a young kid, but I remember this was such a dramatic thing in central Wisconsin that people came from everywhere. My mom wanted to see his house, so we actually drove to Plainfield, Wisconsin from I lived in central Wisconsin, a little bit of south, about 70 miles south, was Ed Gein, his house. When we got there, there was just a line of cars. And this was months after he had done and been caught and he was going through the trial. He has a hat that's made by a company called Stormy Kromer. 70 miles north of where I currently live is where they make these hats. We used to call them Ed Gein hats. The Stormy Kromer, you can still buy this hat. Looks exactly like this hat. Fascinating. Still in existence. He did some very untoward things, but let's find out about him before we share exactly some of the things that he did. So he was a grave robber. He ended up murdering a gal that ran a hardware store. This gal that he murdered, when they did arrest him, her heart was in a frying pan on the stove. This is such a weird thing. He made upholstery out of people's skins. Lampshades were made out of skin. He made belts out of parts I don't even want to talk about. He had a collection of body parts that was so unsavory, I can't even share it. I'll let you watch the thing on Netflix so you can get it. People talked about this for decades. They're still talking about it. Actually, I have a book. It's called Ed Gein, America's Most Bizarre Murderer. It was written by the judge. I think this was in the 80s. He wrote this. Very poorly written book, but I did buy it when it came out in the 80s. Did read it, and it's fascinating to read his verbatim answers to questions. He was clueless of what he had done. When they auctioned off his house, the axe that he had went for $800. Now you're talking 1958 or whatever. The county fair, they took his car. They charged money to go see his car. I mean, this gets so bizarre. But let's find out exactly what he's all about. There's 9 face shapes. He's a cross between a bucket face and an iron face. Very common faces. The bucket face, which is what I am, we enjoy the process of thinking. We tend to overthink. And this guy just dug deep into overthinking in such a big way. He's also got some iron. There's some squareness to his face. And this is a sign of someone that's very strong and stubborn. Those are the 2 traits that were pretty remarkable. One of the things I find very interesting when I look at Ed Gein is when we look at the right and left eye. The right eye is what we show to the world. It's our public persona. It's our mother's influence. The left is our true or private self, and it's our father's influence. When we cover up that left eye and look at that right eye, he's lost. He's not there. I rarely see this look on an eye. When we cover up that other eye, there's some deep anger. There's just something dark about that eye, something hidden, and obviously it goes without saying. Notice his ears. They're very forward facing. This is someone that likes to hear their own voice. They hear, but they don't listen. This is another trait that's very common. You see this a lot in ADD kids. I'm sure he had ADD. Again, I don't know in depth about that. His eyebrows, they're different heights. This indicates he had a difficult or severed relationship with his parents. His mother was a bit of a religious fanatic. His father died earlier. I don't think they had a good relationship. I remember reading a lot about him and about his life. His mother, he was very fixated on his mother with some very sick ways. His eyes are different heights. This indicates some brain inflammation. This guy wasn't right. Obviously, to do the things he did, it's quite obvious. Lips very thin. This is someone that has a difficult time expressing emotions. His cheeks, they're flat, which means he resists authority. He's moody. He's oversensitive, but they're also very sunken in. Notice on the sides, this is someone that has issues with despair. He's kind of grief-stricken. He's just lacking inner peace, and he's very, very restless. So Ed Gein died in prison. I think he was determined insane. I'll never forget watching it as a young kid. They kept showing years and years later. And he was a model prisoner. Everybody loved him. He was a very good carpenter, very good cabinet maker. Matter of fact, I remember watching TV and they showed the warden of the prison with the bookcases that Ed Gein had made. So what a strange man. What a strange event. And I'm old enough to actually remember this and drove to the guy's house with my mom for whatever the heck reason that was. I know you're not going to enjoy Ed Gein, but I enjoyed reading him. Nice to have some memory coming back from the late 50s. We're asked over and over and over again, can you read my face? The answer is yes. Matter of fact, I'd love to read your face. All you got to do is go to WTFWhyTheFace.com. Now, there's several options there. It's not a costly thing to do. First option is I can simply give you a written report. It'll be 7-8 pages long. I will read your face. I will go over psychological aspects, traits that are positive, traits that are negative, also some health issues. That is one fee. The second option is you'll also get a 7-8 page written report. Plus, I will physically call you. Questions will come up. I usually spend 30 to 60 minutes on the phone with you. Obviously, it's a little higher price because it's going to be more time involved. But a lot of questions will come up and you'll say, okay, I got that, but what does that really mean? And I can kind of explain a little more in depth. The third option is, again, 7 to 8 pages. I'll call you. But we can also discuss some options. If there's some things that you're concerned with, we can kind of point you in a direction. I can't physically treat you, but I can certainly make some suggestions when you talk to your own doctor. Pay attention to this or whatever it might be. So if you're interested, please upload your faces and we will be happy to read them for you. Would love to do it.